Yo, check it, got that new fire straight from the underground. What you need? This that real hip hop.
All right, man. Uncle Snoopy made some comments the other day that got a few people riled up. We're gonna go straight to the source and see exactly what was said, and then we're gonna talk about it. Come on, let's go.
Took my grandson to see what was the movie with Buzz Light?
I think it's
Yeah,
called
with
Lightyear.
Kiki.
Right here. I saw that.
And like,
That was the
and she
scene.
had a baby with a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. They putting it everywhere. What up, though? It's your boy Big Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop catching some heat for comments he made about LGBTQ representation on the It's Giving podcast. The rapper explaining his shock at seeing lesbian parents depicted on screen. The scene from the 2022 film marked Disney.
Real quick, before I even finish, let them finish. They're saying that he was shocked. What Snoop was saying, that the kid he was with brought up the question, and he was shocked at even having to try to explain this at this moment. That's what happened. Okay. The kid brought it up, of course. He saw it and he was like, hold on, wait, because the kid's not stupid. He said, that's a lady and that's a lady. So how'd they get a baby? Snoop was expecting to enjoy a movie, not have to give a whole speech. That's what was so shocking.
Disney's first same-sex kiss.
Oh, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this. Just came and watched the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. So it's like, I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of I don't have an answer for it.
The moment was almost
Right there, he doesn't have an answer for it. He was shocked at even having to explain it. He knows that it's in there. Well, no, he didn't know that this was in there, but he knows what's out in the world. He knows what they're putting in movies. He was just shocked that his own family asked him at that time. That's all that was.
axed from the theatrical cut, but Pixar employees protested and got it reinstated.
It threw me for a loop. These are kids that we have to show that at this age, like
That part.
they're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
They are going to ask. I don't have the answer.
What'd you tell them?
Watch the movie. Eat this popcorn.
Snoop's hot take sparked criticism in the comments. One user saying, "It isn't that hard to explain. Science." Another chiming in with, "Being afraid of gay parents in movies is crazy." In this reply, "He was
What?
probably smoking weed while watching the movie."
And then they show a video of him smoking weed like it's not a
We
well-known
agree to
thing that
disagree a
Snoop
lot, and
smokes.
it ain't always on the same page.
The 53-year-old, who's set to return to The Voice in September, has 3
All right, so y'all caught the gist of it, right? Did you catch the gist of what happened? Like a lot of us with kids, we are watching a movie with the kid. Something happens in the movie, and now you have to explain it to the kid that is watching because they're asking questions. Now, this comes into play for many different parents. And depending on the type of parent you are, is how you handle the situation. Your kid asks you a real life question. You can play it off. You can try to act like he didn't ask the question. You can try to sugarcoat it. You can be real with them. There's so many different ways to handle it, but on the spot, it's like you don't always know what to do situation. Um I speak to my son through facts. It's not I explain to him exactly what it is we're looking at or the situation or what's happening in the movie, that type of thing. In these representations, this is not of the norm. And now it's in kids' movies so much more. And this isn't just new. They've been doing this for years, but they're putting it in kids' movies way more now. Way more now. So How do you get around that? How do you get around having this conversation? How do you get around having to talk about it? And of course, the people who support this movement are going to feel some type of way about the people who do not want this type of imagery in front of their children. I, for one, am one of them. I'm sorry. Not really. I'm one of them. I tell my son all the time, right? Being understanding that there are other people out there who believe that there are other beliefs and things out there to believe. We we understand that, but we know that there's boys and girls. That's what we know. What they choose to believe, how they choose to feel, and all these other things, that's entirely up to them. And that's okay for them. But what we are doing, okay? You see how someone's gonna have a problem with that, but so the real thing for me is, so what? If you're allowed to tell my child that there's so many other options and there's all these other things out there, why am I not allowed to tell my child that you're wrong? You as a grown-up can do whatever you want to do. Me as a grown-up, I can do whatever I want to do. My child, as my child, is going to do what I say until he becomes a grown-up and he's in the world, and he then can make his own choices based off of our upbringing. I don't see why. Well, I do see why. Because it's Snoop Dogg. This is Uncle Snoop. He's the most loved rapper, the most loved felon. Oh, excuse me. Let me take that back. He's not a felon. He's the most loved, well known gang member in the world. Everyone loves Snoop. Why? Because he's relatable. And in that situation, at Snoop's age, having to deal with a grandchild asking him these kind of questions when he grew up in a time when there weren't this many options, and he has to explain that, that is why he was so shocked and caught off guard in the moment and was like, bro, just watch the movie. Like, I don't even know what to say to that, because you know your child, your grandchild, in his situation, your grandchild is growing up in a world where people firmly believe, and I mean adamantly believe, that they are multiple personalities in one. They used to have words for them, for people like that, and they used to have places for people like that. Now they just let them roam free, and they can do and say whatever, and no one bats an eye, because then you're judging, and you're not allowed to tell people that they're wrong anymore, but they're allowed to tell you you're wrong for not believing in them. It's confusing. So to keep it simplistic, son, this is me talking to my son. Son, we are boys. We started out boys, we grow into men. That is what happens. Your mom is a girl. She started as a girl, she grew up into a woman. That is what happens. All that extra, all that other, no. Now, at the young age of 10, I don't think having to have a sexuality conversation with a 10-year-old is needed right now. I'm sorry. My focus is more on his math skills and his writing and his reading comprehension versus who he thinks is attractive. So now you're pushing it into kids' movies, Disney movies. Disney, to be exact, Disney movies. And it happens so much. It's like, dude, come on now, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very weary of the new Disney movies and the new kids movies constantly coming out, because I know I can't just say go watch it. I can't. I cannot just say, yeah, you can watch that. I have to physically sit down with you and watch it with you. I have to. I'm that parent. I have to sit there with you and watch it. Why? Because I know that there's going to be images, there's going to be audio, there's going to be all sorts of things that In micro doses, try to counter program the program we got going. And I can't go for that. I can't go for that. Not knowingly. Not knowingly. Like just to know that this is what's happening and to say, yeah, no, I'm gonna just let my kid go through it without my help, without my guidance. I might as well just be an absentee father. Forfeit. Give it up. I don't want to do it. Let the world raise my child. That's what I would do if I'm going to allow this to just take place. No, I don't see what's happening. What's happening is this is those fake outrage moments where everyone is like, oh my God, Snoop Dogg doesn't like the LGBTQHDTV people. No, it's not what's happening. This is an elder man, grandfather now, having to try to explain something that's really hard to explain. It's hard for him to understand, let alone have to explain it and make it acceptable to his grandkids. This isn't this isn't one of those. It's not an easy conversation to have with small children, even teenagers, even young adults. It's not an easy conversation because everyone wants their whole life and their whole identity to be built off their sexuality. That's it. That's it. That has nothing to do with anything, bro. That is like the lowest form of identity there is. It has nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with anything. How you perform at work? No. How you treat people? Your level of caring and concern? All of these things are not based in your sexuality. Somebody feels like it is. It's not though. I mean, at least to me, it's not. To someone, it is though, but it's not to me. Um, I probably heard this all day yesterday, and I was at work, and I'm, hearing people talk about it, and I'm just like, all right, I'll go check it out, see what's going on. And yeah, sure enough, it's a grandfather in shock and doing what a lot of grandfathers and older people do in these situations when you don't have the right words or answers, and you're also not trying to teach and preach something negative. You swerve real quick, try to avoid the accident, and keep it pushing. I mean, man. And just to give you a quick insight, this is coming from someone who has lesbian parent. My mom has been that way for as long as I can remember. I mean, yeah, she had me, she had my dad, she married my dad, but I've seen firsthand and heard conversations of how, and this is amongst that community, of how they are doing too much. And it's not them, they're not the ones doing it, but they're a part of this community and they feel like it's too much. Where are those people at? I don't even hear from them. This is different, bro. No, it's not different. This is right on track with everything that's going on in the world. Snoop Dogg now goes from being the most loved to is a target on him. Are you surprised? I'm not. I'm sorry. Allergy season has commenced. It is August. For those of us suffering from allergies, you know what I'm talking about. It's going to be a lot of sniffles and sneezes, scratchy eyes, and sore throats for the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, hopefully you guys, hopefully you're just keeping your eyes open, just being aware of things. And I have to wrap this up by saying, we, we the delegation, no, me, especially me, I understand that Jesus, so many freaking, I understand that there is a need for representation. I just don't see why it needs to be in everything. I don't. I'm sure there's a billion great reasons, but as of right now, none of them make sense to me. Um, it's a kids movie, right? Like it's a kids movie. You know what to do, man. Show love to the channel. Show love to one another, and get back to having a way better day. Peace.
Perfect.